Welcome. Welcome to everyone. We are bringing some live music back, just starting the process, so I hope you enjoy. And Janice and I thought we'd start with an upbeat, familiar tune called Peace Like a River. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like a mountain. I've got love like a mountain. I've got love like a mountain in my soul. I've got love like a mountain. I've got love like a mountain. I've got love like a mountain on my soul. Joy. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Good job. Good job. And now another familiar one, I am that I am. I am that I am has sent me to this now moment. Here I am that I am has sent me to this now moment. Here I am to be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. To be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Sally and Janice. Beautiful music. Well, good morning, everyone. All of those joining us here in the sanctuary, as well as those joining us online, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center Spokane, where we are all about our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world. My name is Amber McKenzie, and I will be your platform assistant this morning. If everyone could please just take a moment to silence your cell phones, it'd be very much appreciated. And as always, we want to begin our time together by sharing our opening affirmation. I will say it once and then ask you to repeat it with me. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. Together? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. This is Unity's foundation principle: one presence, one power, one life, living through and as each one of us. This morning, we are very excited to be hearing from our transformational speaker, Heather Grover, and her message titled, Wound Healing, Vulnerability, Accountability, and Human Resilience. Sounds awesome. Heather will also be leading us in today's meditation. And of course, we are very excited to have our special music by none other than Janice Mayfield on harp and Sally Sledge leading us in song. Woo! But before we get to all that good stuff, I've got a little bit of news you can use, just a little bit. As always, we want to encourage everyone to read the weekly e-newsletter that comes out on Wednesdays. So if you have not received the most recent one, please do that. You can use the QR code that's in the back, or you can sign up via text by texting Unity Spokane to 22828 to sign up. And again, all of our announcements will be found there. Okay, one more announcement on our new book study that starts Monday, September 13th. It's hosted by Jeff Tawney, and it is on the book Think Like a Monk, Train Your Mind for Peace and Purpose Every Day by Jay Shetty. That will be Mondays at 7 p.m. right here in the Unity Chapel. And again, that's September 13th through November 15th. Please email Jeff Tawney if you are interested, or if you have questions, or you want to sign up. His email is there on the screen, and then also in our e-newsletter. Okay, the other thing I just want to kind of throw out there is that we have the daily word for September and October in the bookstore. It's $6.95, and I'm kind of sad that there's some left over, so I'm hoping that if you are interested, please come see me in the bookstore after services, and I can get you one of those. They're just so, I don't know, they're amazing, and they're helpful, and it's every day there's a new kind of affirmation or something that's inspiring. So if you are interested in that, please see me today after services. And then finally, we could use some more platform assistance. So if you're interested in becoming a platform assistant, please email me, or if you're a current platform assistant and you want to sign up for some upcoming dates, please see me, or you can email me some dates that you're available. That'd be very much appreciated. Okay, so now we're going to hear a song by Robin Hackett, and then that will be followed by our transformational speaker, Heather Grover.
I am light, I am light, I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did, I am not the voices in my head, I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light, I am light, and I am light, I am light. I am not mistakes that I haven't made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left inside. I am light, I am light. Oh, I am light, I am I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age, I'm not my race. My soul inside is all light. I'm light. And I am light. I am divinity divine. I am God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light. Oh, I am light. I am light. I am light. I am. I am light. Oh.
Good morning. I'm always a shaky mess before I speak publicly, so that song was amazing. Thank you for that, and I was so soothed by that. So earlier this week, a friend I was walking with asked me what I decided to share, and I told her that the title today, or for today, was Wound Healing. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Vulnerability, accountability, and human resilience. And she laughed out loud and lovingly said something like, "Oh, so you decided to keep it nice and light, huh?" So for all of you who were warned and who saw the title and showed up, I see you. Thank you for being here. And if you were not warned and that sounds like a little bit much today, you have my blessing to tune out or take a nap. I will not be offended. Okay, so when my calendar alert went off about 2 weeks ago reminding me that I had this coming up, my first thought was, oh no. And not because I don't enjoy and am not so grateful to connect with all of you. I love being here and you've always been so welcoming to me. I thought, oh no, because every time I've spoken here before, I've really shared passionately and with conviction about the power of connecting to our true selves and opening up our access to curiosity and compassion and creativity and clarity and a sense of calm in our bodies. And when that alert went off on my phone, reminding me that I had this coming up, I was not feeling any of those things at all. I had no access. I was not feeling cozily nestled into my true self. I was very much out in the wilderness of the human experience, and I think I would describe it like I was kind of a porcupine out there. Like the quills were out, and if you didn't walk softly enough around me, you were going to get a nose full of them, you know? It's a very Northwest reference. So do you know what that feels like? You know what I mean? Okay. So I know I'm not alone in the feeling of the weight of that human experience and how extraordinarily heavy that feels right now. And I also know that I'm not alone in feeling just weary of being pushed up against my edges again and again and again. And as I prepared to speak with you today, I had to remind myself that the ritual of returning to a place like this is not about performing peace, it's about accessing it. And it's about reminding ourselves that even and especially in the midst of a reality that seems to require us to constantly armor up, we can carve out safe spaces to see and be seen and be reminded of who we truly are, just like the song. So, as usual, I do not come to you as someone who has conquered the mountain and is singing the praises of the view from the top. I am still walking these trails and figuring out new obstacles, and sometimes still stumbling over the same rocks and roots that I really thought I had learned how to navigate. So, as I was thinking about all of this and feeling all of my feelings the last few weeks, I wanted to be able to share with you from a spiritually grounded perspective, and meanwhile, it just felt like all of these big picture social and political issues were making a personal appearance in my life and calling all of my wounded parts to the table. And as much as we may try to work through some of these big topics in logical and pragmatic ways, the impacts of the most pressing issues are playing out in deeply personal and emotional complex experiences, and that is just hard. Being a human and being in community and being in relationship is hard. And I'm grateful that, thanks to many hours of therapy and coaching, it's usually pretty easy for me to recognize when a wounded part of me has been activated. And to give credit where credit is due, my wounded parts kind of act like Jack from The Incredibles. Have any of you seen that movie? So if you haven't, baby Jack is this very explosive character who can pop in and out of dimensions and turn himself into like a wrecking ball and then fly and then explode and then turn into fire when he can't get a cookie. And that's how my wounded parts like to show up. So they tend to make their presence known. It's pretty obvious when they're around. So for a lack of any other options, I decided to stop trying to contain all of these wounded parts and just get curious and watch my pain as it flung itself through all of its many forms. And I started contemplating what it really means to be wounded and what is really required for wound healing and for that healing process in our physical bodies. And I was reminded of one of my more intense physical healing experiences back when I was a teenager. So when I was in high school, I was simultaneously doing ballet, dance team, track, self-defense, theater, journalism, debate, every advanced course that was offered except for calculus, because, and there's probably others that I'm forgetting, but anyway, I was a little overextended, and I ended up with multiple stress fractures throughout my body due to overperforming and under-resting. And from what I understand, stress fractures are typically a load-bearing injury. So sometimes they develop because that particular bone is already weakened from past injury or ill-equipped for that load. And sometimes they happen because the load that bone is expected to carry is just too much, too fast, too often, without enough time and resources to rest, recover, and adapt. Sound familiar? I know a lot of people, myself included, who are starting to feel just like one big walking stress fracture these days. And if you can relate, I just want to begin by acknowledging that there's nothing wrong or inadequate in you that you feel this way. You are a human being having a human experience, an experience that is so natural it's reflected in our very bones. And when you are required to carry too much, too fast, too often, without enough time and resources to rest, recover, and adapt, you will feel the pain of the cracks forming. This is true within ourselves as individuals, and it's true within our community and our country. So let's take a collective breath, all the way in and out. Thank you. When an injury occurs, what comes next is usually pain and inflammation. Too much heat, too much tension, and much too tender to be touched with anything other than the utmost care. That's how it felt when I was walking around with bone fractures, and it's also how I felt and how I feel when I'm walking around with emotional fractures. And until I started this journey of carving my own spiritual path, I dealt with these feelings in one of two ways. First choice was always ignore it, minimize it, suck it up, do whatever I can to overpower it. If that doesn't work, numb it out, use something to dull the pain. And that inflammatory response feels awful, so it took a long time and a lot of guidance for me to see it for what it is. It has a really important purpose. In the body, inflammation brings your immune system to attention, and it's meant to kickstart the healing process. It's not bad, it's essential. It only becomes problematic if it continues unchecked, if the inflammation becomes chronic, and if the next phase of healing doesn't begin. That pain and pressure that I feel isn't something to control or escape, it's something to notice. It's information guiding me to a wound that needs my attention and needs my care. Needless to say, this understanding was not available to me in high school. So it took getting to the point where I couldn't bear to walk and actually couldn't even turn my head side to side for me to finally pay attention. And when I was diagnosed with my stress fractures, the only treatment was REST. It was an acronym, R-E-S-T. The R stands for removal of the abnormal stress. And as I was thinking about this the last couple of weeks, I thought, okay, there's no way that applies to what I'm experiencing now, because I have no power to just remove the abnormal stress. No one does. Wouldn't that be nice? But then I remembered that I didn't actually eliminate the stressors from existence. I removed myself from the stressors. I had to make heartbreaking decisions to take myself out of those environments and activities. I had to walk with the aid of crutches and sometimes not walk at all. I had to limit all of my movement within the constraints of my pain, not forever, but for a time. And while I have no interest in running away from every single thing that causes me stress and burying my head in the sand, I am noticing that when wounded parts of me are activated, there is usually something I can do. And for me right now, that looks like intentionally unplugging from inflammatory media sources, or not engaging in the comments section on Facebook, or telling someone I love, I'm not ready to talk about this topic with you, or spending more time alone in my safe spaces. Not forever, but for a time. So the E in REST stands for exercise to maintain cardiovascular fitness and prevent atrophy. I bet one of you can come up with a more creative parallel, but I'm just going to go ahead and take this one literally, because moving for the joy of it without judgment or expectation and without the need to perform is one of the things anchoring me to my sanity on a daily basis. So I'm just not going to overthink it. I'm just going to take that one at face value. And if you come up with something more interesting, I would love to hear what that is for you. The S in REST stands for safe, pain-free, return to the previous level of activity. I noticed that I carry a lot of conditioning around the idea of personal safety. I want to be the one to run into the fire. I want to be the hero. I want to be the fixer. I want to be the one who can stand the hurtful behavior longer than anyone else and stubborn love a person into the best version of themselves. Anybody else? Okay. It took me until I was 30 years old to create the conscious boundary that I am allowed to remove myself from any situation where I do not feel safe in my body. And I still catch myself finding sneaky little places where I'm not holding this boundary for myself even now. And if my goal is true resilience, I have to understand the difference between feeling uncomfortable and feeling unsafe, between feeling challenged and feeling hurt, between the burn of working a muscle that just hasn't been used in that way before, and the pain of loading more weight onto an already cracking bone. So in high school, when I returned to running and dancing and kicking heavy bags and doing all the things, I never moved the same way again. I felt like I was starting over because I had to retrain my body to move in new ways to protect myself from injury to those vulnerable parts. And ultimately, it did make me better and faster and stronger, but it sure did not feel that way at first. It felt clumsy, it felt sloppy, and I had to check my ego at the door every day or my body would let me know. And so, returning to these environments and conversations and relationships where I have experienced harm may mean that my way of engaging with them needs to look different. And that can feel clumsy and it can feel sloppy, and not everyone is going to agree or be on board with the new way. And that is okay. The T in rest stands for time for bone maturity to catch up. And I've never really bought into the idea that time heals all wounds because it just hasn't felt true in my experience. But I suppose that depends on the conditions of the time, right? So if I had not stopped the activities causing my injuries and focused on recovery, no amount of time would have healed my stress fractures. They would have certainly gotten worse until I had no choice but to stop, and maybe even would have ended up causing permanent damage. If I experience a wound in a relationship and do my best to pretend it's not there so that we can continue business as usual, no amount of time is going to heal that wound. And too many times I have experienced the complete fracture of a friendship due to unacknowledged or untreated harm. Time heals when that time is a reflection of space held for the purpose of healing. Time heals when the truth of our pain is allowed to breathe. And time heals when we honor boundaries that prevent perpetual re-injury to a wounded part. So, rest, R-E-S-T, removal from the stressor, exercise, safe return, and time to heal. What do you think? Does it sound like that could be useful? Yes. Okay, great. This is the good part. This is the good news. There's bad news, though, which is, I'm sure it won't surprise you, there's just not a lot of glory in recovery. I remember sitting in the audience watching someone else perform what was supposed to be my first professional ballet solo, and feeling like I was sinking through the chair, through the cement, into the earth, and all anybody was going to find from me were my stupid crutches leaning against my chair. It was miserable. And similarly now, as I'm navigating the pain of old and new wounds and just doing my darndest to use my tools of healing that I've learned, I really feel better suited to be burying myself under my covers or disappearing into the woods with my dog rather than standing here in front of you. Healing, in my experience, is wildly uncomfortable. And it's worth it. It's worth it so that I don't have to abandon parts of myself anymore. It's worth it so that I can be here and I can be whole. It's worth it because it gives me access to true resilience rather than the suck-it-up buttercup performance of it. I've shared here before that in the beginning of what I'll call my spiritual journey, I latched onto this visual of a circle. And inside this circle was home. And inside this circle was my true self. Oh, hey, you guys are magic. That's awesome. Yeah. I didn't even give them this slide this time. I love it. Yeah. Okay. Inside that circle is home and true self and my connection to source. And outside that circle was the wilderness of the human experience, right? And I could map my thinking using this model when I'm thinking in the business of the past, and I'm thinking in the business of the future, and I'm thinking out in the business of other people, and then when I'm thinking out in the business of things outside of any of our control. So I noticed that I could feel the difference between being fully present, fully at home with myself, and being out in that wilderness, disempowered and afraid. And so with this initial understanding, I thought that surely the goal was to find home and brace and hold at all costs. Stay here, stay put, right? And I learned quickly that this is not only impossible, at least for me. If you've got it figured out, let's talk afterwards, okay? But it's also kind of beside the point. Because one of the problems with this bracing is that it made me very fragile, and it made accountability impossible for me. Accountability was impossible because it meant that telling the truth about parts of myself that were operating out in that wilderness. Parts that still believed old stories. Parts that usually didn't mean to, but still did cause harm. You've heard the phrase, hurting people hurt people, or some variation of it. Well, hurting parts of me hurt people. And when my goal was to remain in this bright and shiny sanctuary of this new spirituality, I couldn't honestly face these parts. They might want to come in and track their muddy feet everywhere. Or worse, they might try to drag me back out with them, right? Recently, I had an opportunity to take accountability for some of the ways I have caused harm and profited from an unjust and manipulative system. And I noticed that many of the responses I got were from people trying to save me from my own shame. Really kind, well-intentioned messages telling me I was being too hard on myself and was I okay? And this made me really curious about the relationship between healing, accountability, and shame, because this choice to take accountability for me in that moment came from a place of my own awakening and healing. And it didn't feel like shame at all. It felt like liberation, and it felt like empowerment. And it felt like I was breathing all the way in and all the way out for the first time in that area of my life. So accountability does not have to be synonymous with shame. In my most human moments, I look at a person causing harm and I think, you should be ashamed of yourself, right? And then in my most divinely connected moments, I look at a person causing harm and I think, I wish you could remember what is true about who you are. It's not this. It turns out that healthy bones have something called elastic range. Bones endure a stress whenever a force is loaded upon it. And in most activities of daily living, when the force is removed, the bone elastically rebounds to its original position. The force that a bone can endure and still rebound back to its original state without damage is within the elastic range. So then, perhaps the strength of a bone under stress is not measured by how much it can withstand without moving, but how far it can flex and return to its truest state. And perhaps the strength of a human under stress is not measured by how much they can withstand without buckling, but how far they can lean into the truth of the human experience and still return home. And perhaps the opposite of feeling lost and in the wilderness is not pinpointing that destination and then clinging to brittle ideals. It's cultivating the elasticity, the resilience to hold space for the both of our existence. to skillfully travel the trails and cut new paths from the human experience to the divine and back out again until no parts of yourself. And can you imagine? No members of our community are left out there to fend for themselves. What if that's what we're here to do? I believe it is. Our individual and collective unhealed wounds are not isolated events, and the ripple effects roll over us in tragedies and traumas that keep the waves of pain crashing over generations. It's an especially intense reality this weekend as we reflect on 9/11 and the 2 decades between then and now. It is also true that our individual and collective healing is not isolated, and the ripple effects can carry us home. So my commitment and my invitation today is this. May we recognize our individual pain as a messenger. Let it point us to our wounded parts. Do our healing work. And then take our wholehearted selves out into our relationships and out into our community, recognizing that the capacity to do this work is a privilege and it's not equally shared by all. And so put all of our miraculous energy into the task of expanding the resources needed for others to access it too. We will not do this perfectly. We may not even do it well at first, but we will do it. You are divine. You are human. You are so brave. And you are not alone. Thank you.
Another familiar one.
I'll invite you to join me in a few moments of meditation. Maybe resting your feet on the ground. Just find a comfortable position for your body. If it feels safe for you, go ahead and close your eyes. Starting to notice your breath. No need to change it, just notice. Allow your shoulders to relax down away from your ears. Allow your jaw to release. Relaxing your tongue, your throat. Feeling your heart beating in your chest. On your next breath in, allow your lungs to fill all the way. Maybe taking 1 second longer to breathe in. And exhale all the way. Let all that air out of your lungs. Breathing deeply, slowly, gently. Feeling the weight of your body grounding you. Notice that you're safe here in this moment. Allow the muscles of your face to relax and release. Allow your body to feel heavy and held. Notice where you feel the weight of what you've been carrying. Maybe in your shoulders. Maybe pressing against your chest. Maybe heavy in your belly. Wherever you hold it, imagine bringing it into your 2 hands. Just letting it rest here in your lap for this moment, holding it lightly. Allow yourself to breathe into that space you've just created. You are not your burden. You are not your wound. You are a divine being in the human experience, carrying what's heavy. But you don't have to carry it alone. Maybe as you leave today, maybe even as you open your eyes, you can take just one thing out of that heavy pack you've been carrying with you and leave it here. Let's take a deep breath into that possibility. All the way in. And all the way out. If you'd like, bring your hands to heart center, palms touching. gathering all that love, all that light, all that truth back into the core of you. Remember who you are. Remember who we are. And when you feel ready, gently blink open your eyes. Thank you.
Janice and I would like to add to the sweetness and the heart-centered message that Heather just gifted us with by doing a classic Enya song called Once You Had Gold. Once you had gold, once you had silver, then came the rains out of the blue. Ever and always, always and ever, time gave both darkness and dreams to you. Now you can see spring becomes autumn, leaves become gold, falling from view.
Wow. That was amazing. Heather's talk was amazing. So many beautiful insights and wisdom. So thank you so much, Heather. I'm going to watch that again. And then, of course, Janice and Sally, thank you so much for your beautiful music. What a gift. Yes, amazing. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, for we know that there is only one presence, one power, one life. So whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey of transformation, you are welcome here. And if this is your first time here to our Unity Spiritual Center, and you feel comfortable raising your hand, we would love to say hello and offer you a free coffee at our barista stand after services. So is there anybody here for the first time? Oh, okay, we've got, yeah, good. So please avail yourself to the barista after services, and we welcome you. And then those who are joining us online who are new to our ministry, we also encourage you to sign up for our e-newsletter to learn more about our upcoming transformational speakers, workshops, events, as well as our meditations that happen every Sunday at 9 a.m. So you can do that by by texting Unity Spokane to 22828 to join, or you can sign up on our website at unityspokane.org. We would also like to connect with you on our social media, which we have Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can just search Unity Spiritual Center Spokane to find us. So thank you so much for joining us today, as well as those joining us online. Now let's just take a moment to acknowledge and bless one another with a socially distanced namaste greeting from your seat. Feel free to stand as you are able and send your loving energy to those around you. Oh, your mask. Janice. All right. Thank you. Awesome. Now is our time to celebrate abundance together as we share our tithes and love offerings. Our ushers will be going around the sanctuary with the love offering bags, so I invite you to hold your offering in your hand, or if you are a monthly giver, to hold that energy in your heart as we say together our love offering blessing. It's coming right up. I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I give thanks for the abundance that is mine to share.
Do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? What do I want? What do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? Prosperity, prosperity. I claim it, I claim it. Abundance, abundance is mine, is mine. Love, love flows through me, flows through me. I feel joy, all the time, all the time. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I claim it, I claim it. It is mine, it is mine. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I am it, I am it. It is mine, it is mine. Peace, peace fills my heart, fills my heart. I surrender, I surrender everything, everything. Health, health is my birthright, is my birthright.
All right. Say a prayer. Dear Spirit, thank you for these gifts and for those who have given them as we send them forward to continue service in our mission of transforming lives and inspiring people to make a positive difference in our world. Thank you, God. We are so blessed, and so it is. Amen. Real quick, I just want to say, did you notice the stage today? Doesn't it look beautiful? The flowers, the ambiance, all of it. It looks amazing. So Karen Dahl, darling, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jeff Hunter, I know, helped as well. So thank you both. It looks amazing. Yes, let's give them a round of applause. Okay, chaplains. Our chaplains today are David and Diane, who have been holding the service and prayer for us, either from home or here in the sanctuary. And as a matter of fact, Diane is here and will be available to pray. Yep, good. Thank you for standing, Diane. Will be available to pray with you immediately following the service. If you have something that is heavy on your heart or that you would like to celebrate, Diane will be available at the front of the sanctuary after services. So thank you both for your service today. And we would like to encourage anyone who is in need of prayer support to please fill out a prayer request form, which can be found in that seat pocket in front of you or on the table as you enter the sanctuary. You can put that prayer request form in one of our prayer boxes. Again, we have one in the back and then I think in the foyer as well. And you can also submit your request through our online form. Names are added to our prayer list and then prayed over for 30 days by both our prayer ministry as well as Silent Unity. So please do that. Our chaplains and our prayer team really do take this very seriously, and we want to be there for you in prayer. And now it's time for the children, I believe. Yay. Our children are arriving in this sanctuary, so let's welcome them with Walking in the Light song.
I am walking in the light, in the light, in the light. I am walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. I'm walking as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light, as the light. I am walking as the light, as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
I love it. Okay, good. Cool. Okay, perfect. Reverend Jackie just let me know that our teens are taking over the refreshments today. So please join them after services. They will be serving you, it looks like. Looks great. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody on stage. How are you? Good. Did you have fun? Yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I love it. So we are so grateful for all of you, all of our young people here at Unity Spiritual Center, as well as those in service. So thank you all so much. Let's say our children's blessing together. Be the love you are. Sing the song you hear. Share your joy of life with people far and near. And for ourselves, be the love we are. Sing the song we hear. Share our joy of life with people far and near. Yay! Okay, you guys can go find your families or the people you came with. Attack your family. I love it. Okay. And now let's stand as we are able and join together in our closing prayer for protection, followed by the peace song. Together we affirm, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth.